And hello and welcome everyone to the Comic Multiverse, where the worlds of nerd meet. It's a comic book show where me and my host Matt remind you, the listener, that we love you 3000.
We love you
And that's
3000.
we love you 3000. We love you all. We're kind of the internet's ass of podcasts. And if you don't get these references, that means you didn't see Avengers Endgame, although statistically, judging by the box office gross, everyone and their mother saw Avengers Endgame multiple times. So
Yes.
we're sure you saw that and we're sure you on board for the spoiler cast that we're going to be doing. We're not going to do it right away though, but we will be getting to it. That's the meat and potatoes of this show.
Yes. I don't want to see any comments that mention we're spoiling it and we're assholes for doing so. Could be
Yes.
giving you fair warning.
Spoiler is in the title, everyone. We do this all the time. It's kind of a tradition around these parts. We hope you're cool with it, but there's always that one person,
Yep.
that extraordinarily unextraordinary person who's like, I don't go on the internet to read things, especially the titles of the videos I watch. What is this, communist China? Expecting me to read shit. But again, we'll get to that in a minute. This is the getting to know you portion. This is where we ease you in and lube you up for the good podcasting that's going to be coming your way in the next little bit. How was your weekend, Matt? I imagine we had very similar weekends, which is of course going to see the movie.
Yeah. Obviously went to see Endgame. I saw it twice. Obviously I saw it
Holy shit!
a long time before everyone else managed to do it. And then I saw it on the weekend again with some friends and family
Nice.
stuff. And then as well, I started playing Days Gone.
Yeah. I think we both had some games going on. I guess let's talk about our theater experiences and how those went. I saw the movie Friday because that's the earliest you can see it, Friday night in my small town.
Hmm.
Lined up around the corner. I was there like 2 hours early because I knew this was going to happen,
Yeah.
just to get a decent place in line. And they did something they've never done before
Hmm.
in my shitty small town northern theater. They're like, okay, everyone, the movie's not supposed to start till 7:30. We've already sold out. Who wants us to start the movie early?
That's pretty awesome.
It is, because it's like, because if not, you're just gonna be sitting here and we're not gonna know what to do. And I know some of you smuggled booze in, so you're all just gonna be getting drunk and violent, I'm sure, if we don't start this movie.
Yes. Yeah, my theater experience. The first time I saw it, which was a Wednesday morning at 8:30 in the morning. That was
Oh wow,
the
holy
first
shit.
showing. The first showing here in
Damn.
Australia. It was what was considered a work day because it was in that weird place between Easter and what we have Anzac Day.
Right.
So it was like that one day where everyone was at work, but no one was at work. Everyone was at seeing Endgame because my theater was packed. The second time I saw it, I actually went into the city here to see it at a cinema, and I am so glad that I pre-booked tickets. Uh,
I bet.
Even pre-booking tickets, we had to sit down in the front row, which was luckily
Wow.
like further back that you didn't have to like crane your head up to see it. Um, but at that theater, they were sold out every showing until 9 p.m. the following Monday. And
I believe it.
as we record this, it's currently Monday at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So they're still sold out.
I totally believe that. Here's the thing. The line in my small town theater, only theater, again, in this town, around the corner, when I took a cab home later that night, and the cabbie asked me what show I saw. Apparently, he had taken a guy down there like when the show was supposed to start, then had to drive him home 20 minutes later because they were sending people away.
Oh
Because again,
wow.
same deal. It's like it's all bought up, and this is such a small town theater with such small town ideas in it. You can't book online for this theater. You can't do any of that stuff. No seat reservation. This is an old ass theater in an old ass town, and it's crazy to think. Because yes, I'm standing there in line in the rain. It was pissing rain when I did this, so I actually stood in the rain. That's how much I knew I had to go because it's a work thing. Because we
Yeah.
had to talk about it, and I'm just like, well, if I don't get in now, it's not going to be any better Saturday, Sunday. In fact, it might be worse. So
Yeah.
just gonna have to grin and bear this one, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Same. I wouldn't miss it for it, and it's not just seeing the movie as well. It's that experience of the audience as well. Like,
Yeah,
there's nothing beats like a full cinema like
absolutely.
premiere day of like a big movie.
Even when there's some mouthy prick dude bros behind you feeling they need to give their running commentary. to their other bros. And here's the thing. Normally I'm the sort of person who is fearless enough to turn around and go, you better shut the fuck up. I didn't pay $10 to listen to you. But I was in a situation where it's like, no, I don't want to look away, because if I look away,
You'll
I
miss
will miss it.
something.
Yeah, you're being a dickhead and I want to tell you, but I cannot do it. But yeah, so that was my theater experience. How's Days Gone been? Because I had a choice in what game I picked up this month, and I picked Mortal Kombat. How is the Days Gone?
It's okay. Like I really enjoy it. It feels like someone else actually echoed my thoughts about this on Reddit or Twitter or something. It feels like a Ubisoft open world game, but it's
Mm,
exclusive to PlayStation. Where it's good. It's good. There's lots of stuff to do, but it's got that like Ubisoft feel to it.
right,
Um,
that Far Cry Assassin's Creed. Here's a
yeah,
map to fill in. Here's a million little side projects that you're probably never going to finish.
yeah. The motorbike you drive around on, at least like what the one I'm on, it's a hassle because you always got to fill it with fuel and fix it and all that stuff. The voice acting is the most voice acty that I've ever heard voice acted.
There's
It's
there's a clip that's making the rounds there where it's like a wedding, and like it's a biker who's getting married. It's like, oh, and I vow that you should ride me as much as you ride your motorcycle. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a bad line read badly.
Yeah, yeah. The lines leave something to be desired, especially when you're just like out in the world and the character Deacon just talking to himself because he's like giving you a commentary on things you're doing. Like, I just firebombed a nest, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna firebomb this nest, and things are gonna run out." I'm like, "Yes, I know.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you for telling me, Deacon."
That's got to be an annoying game to let's play, because it's like, no, hey, Deacon, I'm the one who makes inane comments over this. Don't you do my job for me, asshole.
Which is even funnier because it's voiced by Sam Witwer, who is a
Oh
live
wow.
streamer.
Oh, that's hilarious. Now, again, while we're on the subject of bad voice acting, have you heard Ronda Rousey as Sonya Blade in
I
Mortal
have,
Kombat?
I have. Oh my god! Someone that Ed Boon thought that was okay to put in a game.
Wow. It's very clear that they were much more interested in getting the name cachet of a famous
Yeah,
MMA fighter turned wrestler than they were getting someone who can act, because Jesus Christ.
maybe they had her
She
for like 6 minutes, like between like her going to get beat in like WWF or something.
that's my thing. I'm like, did they record these lines after Becky Lynch hit her in the head all those times with that chair?
Like right after, like just hit her, and then they like run up to her, like say your lines around her, say them.
She has one emotion for everything, and it's truly astounding, because like here's the thing, like as a wrestler, when it's like, okay, go into the ring and cut a promo, it's like, okay, she's kind of bland, but I think she's just kind of bland in real life being herself. Whoa, if you thought she was bland being herself, wait till you see her trying to play a character, because she has one emotion. It's even more ridiculous because it's her acting against like seasoned voice actors, like
Yeah.
veterans of the field, like Richard Epcar and Jennifer Hale and Phil Lamar, people who are like, I do this shit in my sleep. That's how good I am.
So it's like enhanced as well, where you like see, oh, these are
Oh
these
yeah.
good people, and Ronda Rousey.
And Ronda Rousey. And like again, because I'm like recording video footage of it for my backup channel there where I do video games, and I just did her chapter, and I lay into her, and there's a moment where I started to feel bad. I'm like, oh, that's unfair. It's her first game. It's no one's ever going to be good their first try. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Ronda Rousey's a bad person in real life. She thinks Sandy Hook was staged and she doesn't like trans women. Oh, screw Ronda Rousey, actually. You're a bad lady and a bad actress. And I hope you get beaten out of doing what is it, video game voices, so you'll go for more money doing voices somewhere else. Just like when you got beaten MMA twice and you went and do fake fight wrestling.
Yeah, this will be like the like, and then she got beat in wrestling, so she turned to voice acting.
Well, here's the thing. She lost her big match, and now she's
Yeah.
off for a year because she wants to have children. I'm like, see, you didn't stick to that either, Ronda Rousey. Now look, I know she could kill me in real life. She could snap my neck like a twig, but still, I'm just saying. But yeah, so that was our video game experiences this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like we had a lot of good times there. Now we actually do have a little tiny bit of news here, not much, but it seemed like before we started, a bunch of news Matt was telling me broke with DC and their Year of the Villain and stuff they got coming down the pipeline. Tell me about it, Matt.
Yeah, so the first story is that apparently spinning out of this whole Year of the Villains thing, is we'll be getting a new Secret Six book or team that will appear somewhere. We're not really sure what.
Yeah, they're very vague on this. You sent me the article and like we're getting a new Secret Six. I'm like, oh, is it going to be any of the teams we remember? Is it going to be a new team? Maybe a new team, but who's writing it? We don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not going to be like a team like we saw like before with like Catman and all these people.
No.
Apparently, it's going to be made up of the dark dimensional versions of certain characters.
So it has nothing to do with Secret Six as
Yeah,
we know it.
and the characters themselves are kind of weird choices because apparently it's going to be Perry White. You know,
The evil Perry
the
White.
evil mastermind villain Perry White.
Uh-huh.
Another World's Donna Troy. Kind of makes sense. You know, she's an actual hero. So, but yeah,
You know,
and
Donna Troy, because we got to keep ruining the Titans characters after we're done Heroes
yeah,
in
yeah.
Crisis. We can't stop. We got to keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah, yeah. Who's next on the list? Oh, Donna Troy. Oh, easy.
What do you mean we didn't kill Donna Troy off in Sanctuary? Oh, well, we better ruin her here.
But yeah, yeah, very intrigued. I'm intrigued to see, like, especially because like Perry White's on the team. Like, what the hell?
I do wonder if the reason they brought back this book, if only just to keep the name cachet alive, is because there was that talk that they were developing a Secret Six TV show, but they didn't know what it was going to be.
hmm
Which kind of sounds like what it is here. It's like, well, we have this name. People like this name, so let's build something with this name, even if it has nothing to do with the thing people like.
Yeah, yeah. It just feels like they want to use it. They haven't used it in a while. So yeah, this will bring people back to comics. They know what this is because they remember that Gail Simone run during Villains United.
Yeah, and other stuff too. And then it's like, but wait, can't we just do some new stories with the team we like? No, we can't do
No,
that. That
no,
would be silly.
no. Yeah, people like those characters. Are you kidding me? We can't have that.
Yeah. No, can't have that. A team with characters people like and have it kind of be a weird, offbeat, dark comedy. People would never accept a fun, dark, offbeat comedy starring supervillains. In fact, let's take those good stories and let's give them to Suicide Squad and have them make an animated movie that's in name only. I'm still mad about Hell to Pay that they
Yeah,
took the best Secret Six story, took out all the characters that you like, and just put, like, paper thin Suicide Squad characters in there. That one still chomps my nuts all this time later,
yeah, yeah.
I tell you. But that wasn't it, Matt. There was more news too you were telling me about.
Yeah, so apparently there's going to be a Batman, Superman, Batman book like we've had over all the years in DC. They've had like a team up
Been
book,
a
and
while.
it has been a while. Or the last team up book they were actually really in was Trinity in the
Yes, which
Rebirth.
was great.
Yeah, and yeah, we're not again too sure what it is, but it could possibly be written by Joshua Williamson.
Hey, that's a nice reward for all the good work he's been putting in all over the years. It's nice to see him finally get to take a stab at writing a full Batman Superman project.
Yeah, now it's all rumors, but like he's writing something with Batman versus Superman or Superman Batman, whatever they're gonna call it, because he's been posting on Twitter like gifs and images of both those characters
Ah,
like for the last couple of weeks. But also they're looking at maybe David Marquez for the art, I
ooh,
guessing, which is
yeah,
gonna look real good.
Civil War II guy. Here's hoping his wife doesn't have another baby in between now and then, and the book can actually come out on a decent time.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what exactly it follows on, and the websites that I was looking at, look, maybe it could like tie into that little part we got at the end of that Heroes in Crisis tie-in with Batman and Flash,
Oh
with
yeah,
Superman and Batman looking for someone who might be a traitor or something.
right. And them saying, "Can we trust the Flash?" And it's like, well, this is fucking out of place and has nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, so maybe that was like his little like I'm just gonna put that in there, you know, because this doesn't affect Heroes in Crisis, or his whole story never affected Heroes in Crisis, but
No, not once. But yeah, I mean, hey, more power to that guy. I hope Williamson does get to write it. I hope Marquez gets to draw it. That sounds like something I would be very interested in.
yeah, as someone who's been reading his Flash, I really hope so. I'd love to see him tackle these characters in like an ongoing.
Most definitely. And hey, because we mentioned Heroes in Crisis, and even though, we're going to spend the most of this show being very positive and upbeat as we talk about Avengers Endgame, I think we would be remiss if we did not talk about the ongoing happenings of Heroes in Crisis, because issue 8, the penultimate issue, stuff happened. I mean, I can't say it was another completely unnecessary filler issue. Stuff happened. I didn't like a lot of it, but boy, did stuff happen.
Stuff happened, but it's stuff that should have happened over the course of the previous like 7 issues. Because this is exactly what I said was going to happen. We're going to have an issue where suddenly everything is explained.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly what this is.
Everything is explained, and literally you could chop out like half of this book now. You could trim it down to 4 issues, and it would actually read better, because this issue essentially says, hey, remember all that stuff with the puddlers? Remember all of this? Yeah, none of that actually mattered, and there was no ticking clock, and nothing was at risk.
Yeah, nothing was at risk. No one like seems to care about superheroes having problems. That was never brought back up.
Nope.
And yeah, we kind of learned that like Wally West is behind all of this.
Yes.
Oh god, this I'm remembering it now, and it just gets me so mad. I'd
But
hate
yes,
to be like a full like hardcore fan of Wally West reading this.
yeah, which it's like, hey, so Wally did it, which again should not be much of a spoiler, because everyone was saying that literally from issue 1.
Yeah.
So, the completely, guessable, completely basic, completely unexciting answer turned out to be the answer.
Yeah. I imagine like maybe they thought, oh, this will actually be good. Like people won't expect it to be Wally, but it is Wally. Is like no. But yeah, we learned that like he got into Sanctuary, and he always felt alone.
Yes.
In it, because he thought he was the only one in the whole entire universe who'd ever suffer from PTSD, being a superhero and everything.
Which wholly self-centered Batman.
Yeah, losing his family. He's the only hero who's ever lost family.
Do we need to list them all for you, Wallace?
And he kept asking Sanctuary, like, can you show me these other people? And like, I can understand that, like, he wants to see like other people are going through the same stuff and everything, but Sanctuary's like, no.
He does without asking, by the way. He essentially uses Speed Force powers to hack the hospital and invade everyone's personal, private session tapes so he can watch them himself.
He uses Speed Force to, like, time travel, I guess, or something, to, like, which he shouldn't be allowed to do, to get, like, all the data that should have been erased. And should not have been recorded anyway, even though Batman said it was never recorded. So
Tom King really treats the Speed Force like the Force in this, where it's like, ooh, do I have a plot hole? Do I have something I need to explain? Well, the Speed Force did it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like I'm okay with writers doing that. Like, I get it, Speed Force, but there is a certain like roof to that where, and Tom King just like blew straight through that and into the fucking atmosphere. I'm like, okay,
and kept going.
Okay, you can stop now. But yeah, he finds out all this stuff that other heroes have problems too, and because of that, it makes him angry, or like it makes him go insane or something. And so
it makes it even worse, where it's like, oh no, it's like he comes to the realization,
I'm
oh
not
no,
special.
Well, it's not only just that, my pain isn't special. It's that, you can't quantify pain. Grief is not a contest. Depression is not a contest. Oh no, I feel like even more of a dick now for having done this, and that causes him to have like a mental break.
A mental break that somehow makes the Speed Force apparently every speedster is riding this fine line of control with the Speed Force, whereas if they suddenly have like a mental breakdown or get angry, they can just kill everyone around them, and that's apparently what happened. And
again, it's the Force from Star Wars. Now he tapped into the dark side of the Speed Force.
Yeah, and he killed everyone, and instead of like being like, okay, well, I've got to find a way to fix this and actually like telling everyone what happened and what happened.
Coming clean and doing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
good, honest, heroic thing.
He decides to, oh, there's two people that actually aren't here because they're still in their simulation. That's Harley and Booster. Well, I'll make them each think that the other person killed them all. I'll frame them.
Double frame.
I'll frame these puddlers. I'll go into the future to get my 5-day old future self, kill him, bring him back in time.
So he murdered a person, although technically it's a future him, so is that murder or suicide?
Yeah. Murder, put him in there to make it think that he died as well.
I'll doctor the crime scene with a bunch of red herrings. So the Joker teeth and all that other stuff that you thought was really important, nope, they were literally all just red herrings.
Yeah, even though none of that was actually explained or even followed up. Remember that? The Joker teeth in there? Ooh, who's doing this? Doesn't matter. And yeah, he then has 5 days to like make things right. And like, well, you could have made things right to begin with by just admitting to this. Like, go to the Justice League and tell them what happened. They'll be like, okay, cool, it was an accident. We understand that. We'll try our best to like rectify the situation and help the heroes that survived, or all that sort of stuff.
No, I need to do something as good to offset the thing I did bad. Well, a good thing you would do would be to turn yourself in and admit what you did wrong.
Or try and go back in time, like you've already done, to prevent those deaths. But those deaths, like, they still happen. Like, why is he so intent on, like, he wants to go back in time to stop himself, but stop himself after the fact he's killed all those people.
He doesn't even say to stop himself. He says to do something.
Yeah, well, like, it's going to be to stop himself. It's not going to be to rectify any of that.
You say that, but I put nothing past Tom King. Where it's like, well, what's he going to do to offset all the horrible things he did, admittedly by accident? Oh, I threw a big tea party for everybody.
I got them all gift bags.
Oh, man, did you see how thick the cake is here? The slab cake?
And even if he does rectify that, like, that'll be like a completely different timeline. And there's still that timeline where everyone already knows people have PTSD, like heroes have PTSD, but no one gives a shit. It was no big like reveal or anything like it was made out to be.
The way I describe this too, where it's like, okay, so like people are angry that Wally killed all those people. I give him a pass on that because it was by accident. He wasn't in his right mind, temporary insanity. Any lawyer would argue that in a court of law. Mm-hmm. The problem is that he goes from not being in his right mind to being premeditative enough and in his right mind enough to cover up what he did and doctor the crime scene. Even if you could say he's doing it for a good reason, no, it stops being a good reason once you frame two people. And I know he even says, oh, well, Batman and the Flash will figure this out in 5 days. Yeah, and how many times did Booster and Harley almost die in that 5 days? Issue 1 starts with them almost killing each other.
Yeah, and it doesn't help as well that like every hero that like is after them, like wants to kill them. I guess, like doesn't even try and like stop them and try to find out what's going on. Actually, they just flat out attacks them.
Yeah, because they killed, as far as they're concerned, they killed a bunch of defenseless sidekicks, Teen Titan characters who were trying to get help. Which also makes Wally a dick too, where it's like, okay, so you're a sick person, you're sick in the head. And you frame 2 other sick people who are trying to get help?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it would have all been fine if, like, there was that moment in the comic where you actually see Wally snap, but you never do. Like, you're just told, like oh, you went through all these memories and then, like, the lightning shot out of him and killed everyone. Like, you need that moment after where he's realized he's snapped, or, like, you show the character has gone crazy. He's wide-eyed and killing people and whatnot.
Yeah, that you need the parallax moment, which admittedly the parallax moment pissed people off a lot back then. And I feel to put the genie back in the bottle here, they're gonna have to have a parallax moment in the next year or so to be like, oh no, did we say he went crazy because of this? We meant Reverse Flash brainwashed him. Yes, that's what happened.
Yeah. That is if any story decides to actually reference this, because like no current story is actually referencing this. Like we had that tie-in with Green Arrow, and he kind of like finished his part with Roy, which is like the only good thing to ever come out of this
it was, yeah.
He finished it. Like, how is he going to react knowing that like Wally deliberately did this?
I mean, you can't really say deliberately he was in the wrong state of mind. The way I described it to people on Twitter, it's like, okay, if you're driving your car and you have a seizure, that's out of your control, right? You swerve, you hit a pedestrian. That's really bad, right? But when you leave the scene of the crime, even if you're like, "Oh, but I left the stove on though. I need to," that's no excuse. And it's especially not an excuse if you leave the scene of a crime, then also get two hobos, put them in the car, and then
Yeah,
cover them with blood before
yeah,
leaving the
blood,
scene.
crack, and whatnot. Throw a gun in
Yeah.
there.
But I needed a tea party though, and I knew the cops would figure it out. Yeah, that's not a good excuse. That's like a terrible excuse. You're a bad guy now.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! Like, how did anyone think that would be a good story? Oh, and then without feeling any remorse, he decides to quickly cover up the crime scene and blame these two characters.
Mm. Well, again, I wouldn't even say it's not remorse. He's clearly remorseful. He's crying when he's doing the video. But you can be remorseful and still be 100% in the wrong, too.
Well, see,
Like,
he's
again,
crying to that's like after the fact that they found out like something
right
is up
after
with
he's
him, and it's like, oh, they caught me out. I've got to, I'm a bit emotional now.
yeah, after he's already doctored the scene and everything. And he keeps sending stuff to Lois is the thing
Yeah,
where I'm like, why don't you send it to Wall or why don't you send it to Barry?
yeah, yeah. Oh no, he'll figure that out. He'll figure it out.
Your friend, your father figure, your big brother, why don't you send it? Why do you keep sending it to Lois and making it her problem?
I don't, I don't know. Especially when like you don't really like. I know Lois wouldn't like out all of that footage and everything, but you can never
Yeah,
be too careful as well.
no, for sure.
Especially with like how Tom King writes his characters.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what if a third party, what is it, intercepted that? You
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly, exactly.
That's what this story needed to make it a little bit more palatable. It needed a third party.
It needed the puddlers.
It needed the puddlers, but the puddlers are fake. Not only are the puddlers fake, but Wally got the idea from Barry because Barry told him the story of what the puddlers were in ancient time. And I'm like, wait. So Barry didn't get a reference that he himself made and told Wally.
Shh, shh.
Yeah,
Doesn't make
just shh. Joe, the story is deep and interesting, and it really speaks to me and my issues. That's fine. It can speak to your issues. Again, when a story is this vague and open-ended, you really only get out of it what you put in. But I'm just saying, from a storytelling point of view, it makes no sense. And I feel like I'm a crazy man here taking crazy pills, yelling into the void.
Yeah, yeah. Or the amount of people that somehow like this book, like, cool, like it. That's cool, but like, don't tell me this is like the best comic of the decade or anything. This is absolutely terrible. You have to realize there is some like really shitty things in this book.
The Eisner Awards put out all their nominations recently, and Tom King is up for a bunch of awards. I don't think any of them are for Heroes in Crisis, but he is
I
actually
fucking
up for a
hope
bunch
not.
of them.
I
No, I
fucking
think a
hope
bunch
not.
of them are for. I think a bunch of them are for Batman, and I think some of them are for Mr.
Oh god,
Miracle.
I can understand Mr. Miracle. Batman, really? Really?
Again, I feel it's one of those situations where it's like I don't get it, so it must be brilliant.
Yeah,
So I
or
should
it's
probably
Batman. It
nominate them.
has to be good.
Yeah. That being said, there's a lot of people we like up for Eisner's too. There's David F. Walker and Kelly Thompson. There's a lot of good people we like up for awards this year too. Ooh,
Yep.
Mark Russell is up
Yep.
for some awards for best comedy. Oh,
Yep.
I finally finished his Lone Ranger book. It was really good.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not nearly as funny or political as his other work is. It's actually a much more straightforward Western with an undercurrent of comedy and politics.
Awesome, awesome. You got to start his Wonder Twins book. He last issue
I
he
do.
surprisingly got deep with Superman in the last issue.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that. Yeah, I will have to start that now. I want to support this guy, and when his Jesus comic comes out, I want to read that too.
Yeah.
I want to read it and support it because I want more Prez at some point, damn it. I want to meet him at a con and be like, all right, if you could keep doing Prez, what would you have done? Especially when it feels like a bunch of the shit you wrote in Prez turned out to be true. When Prez came out, the idea of what is it, of a country electing someone with zero actual qualifications seemed ridiculous and far out and impossible.
Maybe that's his thing. It's like, I don't need to do Prez anymore. We're living it, man.
No, it happened. Only instead of electing a teenager who wasn't beholden to anyone, we elected someone who acts like a teenager on social media. So, just fuck me, right? But yeah, so that was the news this week, everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Not a lot happened
No,
because
and
of
that was
Endgame.
because of Endgame. It's so true. It feels like everyone was like, well, don't release that now. Don't talk about that now. It's Endgame week. Do you think you're bigger than the Endgame? I promise you're not bigger than the Endgame. And I guess from there we can actually sit and talk about it. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, which I sincerely doubt, or you don't care, now is the time to back out, come back later, because we will be spoiling everything. We got 3 hours to cover.
Yeah, a lot happens in those 3 hours.
Boy, does it. And you know what? I'll start by saying, as far as the runtime goes, boy, does it ever earn that 3 hour runtime by just cramming the movie wall to wall with every bit of fan service and every callback and every reference it possibly could.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't feel like 3 hours. It just feels
No.
like a normal like 2 hour movie
Hmm.
because of all the cool stuff that's happening. I imagine.
Indeed, it's like, like Act One kind of plods along because it needs to sell this new status quo to you. We have a time jump. We have an actual friggin' time jump in
Yeah,
this movie,
yeah,
which means that if we're time jumping here, we just time jumped the whole universe.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll start from the start. So the first scene is obviously Clint Barton's family getting dusted. Like I think everyone assumed that would be happening, because
As we thought it was.
that sets up his character for the whole film. Since he wasn't in
His his
Infinity War.
his daughter, who is Kate Bishop, but not Kate Bishop, but probably going to be Kate Bishop.
You reckon? You reckon? I don't know.
The fact that he's teaching her archery makes me think, I mean, I guess we'll
He
have
knows
to.
archery. I'm sure he's just like doing something to bond with his kid.
That's true. I guess we'll see when that Hawkeye show eventually does come out, which actually, come to think of it, I wonder now that we see him killing people as Ronin, wouldn't it be really sad, but also really poetic, where it's like, oh yeah, I got my family back after the snap, but I was so fucked up after killing people they didn't want to live with me anymore, so I get the shitty apartment where I meet Kate Bishop and the tracksuit Draculas and everything.
That would be pretty cool. I also figure like since he's become Ronin, and as we learn through the film, he's going around the world for the last 5 years, like killing off like gangs and all that, like,
Mhm.
Yakuza, cartel, and all that. I imagine he would have amassed quite a few like enemies doing that.
Enemies,
So
yeah.
I imagine maybe after learning that it was indeed Hawkeye who was doing this, they'd probably be gunning for
Yeah, I mean, he just moved up in the world, but in the worst
him.
way.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so after that we then pick up like not long after Infinity War where we see Nebula and Tony on the ship that on the Benatar, which has like been fucked up because of the battle on Titan. Their fuel cells
And they're
have run out.
dying.
They're dying. I like that. I love that first scene with them where they're playing the paper football.
Football, yeah.
Not just because it's like kind of funny, but like it's a bit of character growth for Nebula because this is like the first time she's had fun,
Yeah.
like
And oh man,
and actually won something where there's been no like stakes. Like she's just won something. She's had
and no
fun.
one had to die.
Yeah, no one had to die. She didn't, and if she lost, then she wouldn't get like a limb removed or something. It's really cool. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's very brief, but getting to see Tony be like big brother friend to
Yeah.
Nebula, someone who has so few, and also too kind of like they have more in common than you think because obviously Tony is a man obsessed with turning himself into a machine via his suits and everything and technology,
Hmm.
but Nebula is someone forced to become a machine and is
Yeah.
made of so many robotic parts
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they actually get along. Nebula gets a ton to do in this movie. It's shocking how much they get for her to do.
Yeah, well, she was barely in Infinity War, and that's what I like about this film. All the characters that got little less, or like people complain, Captain America was barely in this film. They all get like this film. This is their
They
film.
really do. And Gillen is just wonderful in general, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
nice to see her kind of get to own the screen.
yeah, yeah. It sets her up all through the film as kind of like an integral plot device.
Very much so. Like again, shocked how much she actually gets to play. Also, hey, we get to see Tony Stark all sick and emaciated and skinny and everything.
Yeah, the CGI skinny body, which looked really cool. It took me a while to notice that it was actually CGI. But yeah, they end up getting saved by Captain Marvel, which it's kind of weird because like the Captain Marvel end credit scene isn't in the film.
No,
So
even though that's clearly how they all meet, so we don't get a meeting scene because they met at the end of her movie in the post credit.
yeah, so I imagine like she went to Earth to look for Fury, and then they
Yeah,
to- they told her something about Titan, or like maybe Friday or something, learned about it because where they were
which is
going.
how where she knew
And
where
then
to look.
yeah, then she went out to find them, and yeah, she returns Tony home, and there's such a great scene where he's in the wheelchair and he's like hooked up to the IV, where he's getting like, he's like gone insane basically.
Oh yeah.
And he's getting really mad at Captain America because of the stuff with Civil War and
This
all
is the
that stuff.
first time they've been in the same room to actually sit and talk to each other since Civil War, and all that hate and anger is there, and it's great because at first they're so happy to see each other,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's such a great reconciliation, you're not dead type moment. But then when they're alone together for 10 more minutes, like, oh yeah, I remember, I'm mad at you now.
Yeah, fuck you, you're a traitor. You said we'd like be together when we fought this, but we weren't, and all that sort of stuff. Which isn't really Cap's fault, you know. You know,
No.
Iron Man just didn't have time to call him.
Yeah, and Iron Man is mad at himself
Yeah,
too
yeah.
for how things went, and he even reiterates the thing from Age of Ultron. That, I wanted to build a suit of armor to put around the world, and
Hmm.
you wouldn't let me.
Yeah,
Is the thing where he's like, I could have done it. I could have saved us all if only you had let me.
yeah, yeah. It's great. Great performances from Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans in that scene.
Absolutely. This
Um,
this whole movie is filled with great performances. I know there's
yeah.
some people who will poo pot and be like, "Oh, that's a comic book movie, summer blockbuster. That's not actors acting." No, it really is, and here especially.
Oh yeah. This is the movie where everyone brought their A game.
This is their go for broke one. Like, this is the thing where it's like, if later in the year they're like, "Oh yeah, some people were up for like best actors or best supporting actors for this," I'd be like, "Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's understandable.
That's fair." I don't know who you would give them to, but yeah, I could see that. And some people who I'm sure are like, "Oh well, they would never do that." Yeah, we didn't think they would do that for like The Exorcist or like Lord of the Rings either. But sometimes they just give you an award just for showing up for 11 years and making a lot of money for Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah. It's an unprecedented event as well. Like
So
holy
why
crap.
the fuck not?
Yeah. So where were we? Yeah. So after that, they decide to like they find where Thanos is because he's used the stones again, and Rocket's able to track the energy signature.
Which
To
I was not expecting so early in the movie. I
Yeah,
assumed
yeah,
like, okay, I'm like, okay, that's gonna be Act One, that we need to track down Thanos so we
yeah,
can kill him and use the stones, because that's how movies
yeah.
like this play out.
They'll go into space and like track down someone who might know where he is, or like go to the collector or something. You know.
Yeah, they'll find Puck the space troll and they'll beat the shit out of him until he tells
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So yeah, they find his garden planet thanks to the information from Rocket and Nebula, and they all end up going there except for Tony, and they end up like catching him. And as we find Thanos, he's like injured,
Burnt.
and the gauntlet is like fused to his arm and everything, and we don't know why or anything, but we soon learn out once the Avengers get him and cut off his arm. Um,
Yes, which I was so happy to see that, because as we bring up in my commentary, forget going for the head, Thor. You should have gone for the arm. That would have ended the whole problem right there.
Yeah, yeah. As we learn that he's destroyed the stones, he used the stones to destroy the stones. Since they're
Which, as
like the
far as villain plans go, is pretty
yeah,
solid, so the heroes can't undo it.
yeah, that was like his contingency. It's like I've done what I've done, so I'm going to destroy these, so no one can redo what I did. Um, and yeah, everyone is obviously doesn't believe him and are mad at him, but then like Thor just fucking cuts his head off and kills him.
Yeah, because Thor is in a real depression spiral. Because again, he blames himself for not going for the
Yeah,
head in the fight for Wakanda. There, he knows he could have ended it, and that's really affecting him.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, he cuts the head off, and like this is only like 15 minutes into the film.
Oh, almost not even 15 minutes, and I'm like, holy shit, did they actually just do that? My theater, there were gasps in my
Yeah,
theater.
yeah, yeah. So like Thanos is dead. Prime Universe Thanos is dead.
Hmm. Yeah,
And then the movie
right said Fred.
and then the movie cuts 5 years later.
What a shocking time jump! I did not see that coming.
Yeah, 5 years later. So the world's kind of, sort of moved on from the decimation, but kind of not. It's
It's
still
basically a post-apocalypse.
yeah. Basically, you see like all those cool shots of like New York, where there's like boats all like harbored around the Statue of Liberty, and the water levels have dropped, and all that sort of stuff. And Cap's running like a support group, where one of the
Which is nice, because that's what Falcon did.
yeah, yeah, I like to think that's like him taking that on, about people who deal with like how to move on after all these people are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And he's telling them we got to move on, even though himself doesn't want to move on.
Exactly. He's not practicing what he preaches at all. And while he's doing that, Black Widow has actually assumed control of an ad hoc Avengers team trying to keep peace on Earth with a very interesting group of people. It's her, it's Okoye, it's Captain Marvel in a brand new
Yeah,
costume.
her Janice.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what the costume is. It's from the actual the Captain Marvel costume.
Yeah, which is a fun little reference, which
Yeah.
I respect it even more because internet shithead number 637 said they were going to edit Captain Marvel out of the movie because she did not do that well.
Yeah, they had a cut ready where she wasn't in the film.
Yeah,
Um,
let that always be a reminder to you, everyone. YouTubers have no fucking clue what they're talking about, and that includes
yes,
us.
yes, that includes us.
Never listen to us. We don't know anything.
Yeah, but like she shows up, she's actually out in space, dealing because like obviously she mentioned earlier in the film, not any like other worlds don't have the Avengers, so like
Yeah.
she's sort of acting as their Avengers and like sort of is like a protector and like because of obviously the whole universe is in chaos. She's
Which
doing
I appreciated that. I know some people probably wanted more Captain Marvel interacting with everyone, but I like this idea that they've set this powered tier where it's like, look, Captain Marvel is a cosmic character who deals with cosmic problems. Call me when you can't handle it.
I also think it has also to do with this film was shot before her solo film, so like they didn't know
Right.
like they didn't have a script for a solo film when they filmed this, so they kind of had to play it safe with like we can't do too much with their character because it might clash with what they write in her film. Like they might
See,
end
I
up
didn't
being
know
like
that.
two completely different characters. So we'll just give
See,
her
I
a
did
little.
not know that.
We'll just give her a little bit. Just give her a little bit, and she's
She
completely fine here.
she does. She gets just enough. She's, every bit as sassy as she is in her own movie. She gets a couple good japes and one-liners in there, which are always fun.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, so Black Widow's running this team with War Machine, Captain Marvel, Rocket Raccoon, Okoyo, Nebula. They're all like spread out around the Earth and space.
Yep, keeping the peace, which I like that too, because with a 5-year time jump, you can explain anything now. You can be like, hey, what happened in that 5 years that we
Yeah,
missed? Mutants,
I
Fantastic
I'm
Four.
really looking forward to seeing if they actually do a film in that because that would be really interesting because it would be like kind of like post-apocalyptic sort
Yeah.
of like it would be interesting to see what the Avengers actually fought or what certain characters actually fought.
They offhandedly mention a bunch of earthquakes, and like Red Letter Media brings this up too, and I think, oh, that has to be intentional. You just don't bring up something like that if that was not either a cut side plot or something you plan to double back to in the future.
I don't know. I think it kind of was just like they could easily just like throw that into a lead into something, but I think it was just that just like a thing because like as Black Widow like she wants to deal with it, and I think it was to show that like she is looking at everything like too meticulously, whereas Okoye says it's just an earthquake. You deal with it by not dealing with it. You let it happen. It's
And also
nothing.
making tough decisions.
Yeah, it's nothing like it's not Thanos. It's just an earthquake.
Right, stretching herself too thin. That's a good reading too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so she's running that, and obviously Captain America is kind of sort of involved, but he's not. It's not really made clear whether he's still part of the Avengers or not.
They're they're already kind of setting up his retirement. They're already kind of setting up his walking away because he feels like he's failed so hard that he doesn't even have the right to run the team anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and it's at this point we actually kind of learn out what happened to Ant-Man, and through like sheer luck, he ends up
Hmm.
getting ejected from the quantum realm by a rat,
Yes.
who walks across the controllers. His van has been loaded into like a shipping container sort of
By
facility.
Ken Jeong.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In a really, really fake mustache.
Man, if you love Community cameos, and you should, because that's where the Russo brothers cut their teeth, you get like a couple really good cameos in this.
Yeah, yeah. So he gets ejected into this world where he has no idea what the hell is going on. He meets his daughter, who's now 5 years older. Um,
Hey, she's old enough to be stature now on a Young Avengers team. How about
how
that?
about that? I loved like seeing like him sort of exploring the world where like he goes down that street and there's like cars and trash everywhere. Then there's
It's like the
that
I Am Legend moment.
yeah. Then there's that like really kind of creepy like Auschwitz sort of memorial thing that he goes
To
to
all
with
the
all the
people who
names. Is like
disappeared.
that's so creepy.
Yeah, and then reading his own name off it too, and having to piece together what happened.
Yeah, so he goes to the Avengers facility and fills them in, and we learned that like while he was in the quantum realm for only 5 hours, he came out and it was 5 years later. So he theorizes that they could use that time travel or that quantum realm traveling to go back in time to gather the stones and get them before Thanos does and undo what he did. And that's like the big driving force of this film.
Yep, which I appreciate that for this universe, it took us this many movies. It took us about 11 years to finally get to time travel. And I like them saying that, A, we're not going to abuse this because it's difficult, it's dangerous, it's a pain in the ass, and it's also very different than what Doctor Strange does with the Time Stone.
Yeah, they reiterate like at least 3 times from 3 different characters how this time travel works, and people still don't understand it. It's so simple as well.
They, they list like every time travel movie ever, and they're like, hey, have you seen Terminator, Back to the Future, Time Cop? Da, 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 da. It's not like that.
Yeah, it would be like that if it was the time stone. But
Yes.
this is quantum traveling, which takes you to other timelines and dimensions.
Hmm.
So like whatever you do in like your future becomes the past because you were there. It happened that you were there. That you came to this current time.
Yeah, you can influence the past, but even if you influence the past, it will not affect your future.
That's why they can't go back and kill baby Thanos.
It's why they can't kill baby Thanos. It's also why they can't bring people back from the dead who were snapped by the glove.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they theorize about all this, and this is where we find what's happened to Tony Stark in the last 5 years, and as he's kind of retired
Yeah.
to like a lake house with Pepper, and he has a kid. He has a kid
Yes,
named
little
Morgan,
Morgan, yeah.
uh, who is his daughter, and he's like away from the Avengers, doesn't want anything to do with them anymore because he's got what he wanted. He found his little bit of hope in this desolation.
It's the Wild West moment. It's, the gunslinger who has
Yeah.
put down his hat and his guns. He's like, no, no, I refuse to come back. But we could do it, Tony. One last ride.
Yeah, and he has really great reasons to not come back. He's like, yeah, we
Yeah.
could do time travel, but that would get rid of what I already have here, and I can't do that. Like
I'm happy
this is
now.
what's keeping me alive, basically.
Yeah, I'm happy and content for the first time ever.
Yeah, so Cap and they have to turn to Bruce Banner, who in those 5 years, in the 18 months,
Mhm.
he has become Professor Hulk.
Which I love to death. And not only is he Professor Hulk in name, in costume too, and they travel back in time, he's wearing the jeans and the tank top.
Yeah,
That's what he wore in the 90s as Professor Hulk.
yeah. So yeah, he's Professor Hulk.
Man,
I
Ruffalo, they use every part of him as an actor in this, don't
I,
they?
I yeah, oh my god, did they ever? I really like as well, like when we first saw like pictures of that Hulk, everyone was like, oh, it looks more like Ruffalo now. They keep changing it, and it was like there's a reason because of that. It's like this is
Yeah,
now Hulk and Banner like equal parts. It's not more
they're
Hulk, it's not
fused.
more Banner. It's amazing, and I just love that, like, yeah, he can do all this stuff. He's really funny in this film as well.
He is.
He took some of that stuff from Thor Ragnarok and ran with it.
He did. I like that's just the Bruce Banner character now. He's a little corny. He's a
Yep.
little bit of a fuddy-duddy, and he's funny. I really like this characterization, and he stays like that
Yeah,
too.
yeah. He doesn't change back or anything. Or he does for one scene, and we'll get to that.
But just one. But yeah, he stays like that, which means when we're gonna see him again, we'll probably see him as Professor Hulk again.
Yeah, he's going to be that for the foreseeable future.
Hey, when we're talking about Professor Hulk and fusing personas and different timelines and dark timelines that could happen, how much money about one of those universes where they removed a stone mat that future eventually became 2099 and gave birth to the Maestro?
That'd be pretty cool. The thing is that like, how their time travel works, as soon as they put those stones back, those
They
timelines
fix it.
don't exist anymore. But there is that one with Loki that doesn't get fixed. And
Yes,
we'll get to
that's
that.
that again. That's not to say, they fixed them eventually.
Hmm.
but there's nothing to tell you how long that
Yeah.
those
Yeah. There's
universes,
that
those
you could
splits
do
existed.
any time, any specific time, or show like this is what happened, but then Steve put that back and it closed the timeline. Um,
Again, I'm telling you right now, Captain America 4, Captain America 2099, Steve Rogers versus the Maestro, make it happen.
that would be so awesome.
Again, I will write the script and maybe Chris Evans will want to come back for it, but we'll get to that when we get to it.
Um, but yeah. So he agrees to help them, and he helps them like he helps them with Scott and everything do time travel, which doesn't work first up because they, as Tony Stark puts it, they're not pushing Lang through time; they're pushing time through Lang, which causes him
Mm,
to become young Lang, and then a baby, and then an old man.
that's fun.
Which was very funny. So yeah, Tony has developed an actual way to time travel, which is like this cool GPS sort of thing.
Hmm.
He gets a cool moment with Pepper where I love up until like now Pepper is like kind of been against him being Iron Man and like being a
Yeah,
hero, but like here she's like, look, there's a chance to save everything. Like you have the chance, you could not do it, but could you rest with yourself knowing that you could change the future
that
but
you
didn't?
didn't.
Yeah, so she kind of guilts him into doing it.
it,
Um,
it is nice though.
yeah, so he joins the team and they start inventing all the quantum suits and everything. And it's at this point they go and find Thor, who's retired to New Asgard, which is
Love that.
which is in Tronsburg, which was in the first Captain America film where the Tesseract was hid, as well as the first battle in the first Thor film.
Yes, yes.
Which is really cool. And we find him, and he's let himself go. He's Volstagg
Man,
now.
the massive laugh that got in my theater of out of shape depression Thor, man, just rocked the whole place. And hey, Meek and Korg are there, so we got a
Yeah,
little Taika Waititi cameo as well.
yeah, and I think I'll have to go back and watch it, but I think Korg is wearing uh the cool shirt that Taika wore to like one of the press conferences
Of course he
for
is.
Thor Ragnarok. But yeah,
Because
they're
that character is just Taika
yeah,
Waititi.
yeah. It's just Rocky Taika Waititi.
Yep.
Yeah, they're playing Fortnite and getting abused by Noob Master 69.
Yelling at teenagers, what's not to love?
Yeah, getting drunk and all that stuff. It's cool. I can like cosplay as Thor now.
Finally, right? Agreed. I like you see all these think pieces online where they're like, was this Thor bit fat shaming by having a fit actor, going fat face? And I'm like, no, as a chubby guy myself, I'm glad I can
I can
finally be Thor
accurately
now.
portray him now in cosplay.
Finally. Or also too, I can also be Big Lebowski Thor, and I love that Stark calls him Lebowski. I'm like,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So they recruit him. They recruit him by promising him beer, basically,
More booze. We have more booze. Come with
because he
us.
doesn't want anything to do with Thanos after. Because when he cut Thanos' head off, like he wanted to do it, but as well, like there was no like heroic behind it.
No.
They basically committed murder.
And it meant nothing. Like
Yeah,
nothing changed.
yeah, it meant nothing. So he's like all depressed and everything. So yeah, he comes back and they all end up setting up what Scott calls a time heist.
Love that. That sounds like a freaking comic book title right there. Avengers Time Heist.
Which is they're going to go back in time within the quantum realm suits to specific
Steal the
points to
stones.
steal the stones. And those points are 2012, 2013, and 2014.
As they very cleverly say, there's a point in 2014 when there were 3 stones in New York City. I'm like, oh, holy shit. Yeah, wow. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, yeah. So they end up going back, and Steve, Scott, Tony, and Hulk go to the Battle of New York. So we get like recreations of really cool scenes.
That's really smart. That's really fun.
Yeah, so they go back there to steal the Space Stone, the Mind Stone, and the Time Stones. And uh, Banner gets a really cool moment with the Ancient One, who comes back as Tilda Swinton comes back.
Was not expecting that cameo. Really happy to see it because it answers the question where it's like, hey, if you wizardy types were so good defending the realm, where the hell were you guys during the battle for Manhattan? And she's like, oh, I was there. I was there. I was doing
Yeah,
magic shit on a roof. You just didn't see me.
yeah, I was just up in Bleecker Street. You didn't see
Yeah.
me because you were mainly down in like Times Square, that sort of area.
Yeah, I had to defend the sanctum because it's a sick ass piece of real estate, and I wasn't gonna let any
Yeah.
aliens wreck the place. It's rent controlled.
But yeah, she doesn't want to give up the time stone because, as she explains, you take one the time stone, which is a force of the universe, a force of nature in the universe. Take that out, it'll just cause chaos. Like a
Uh-huh.
prime force of nature has been taken out. It'll cause chaos and cause a branching timeline where chaos rules, all sorts of stuff. You know,
I like that
Dormammu
she
comes and
explains that, as she
yeah,
should, because you have the time stone, you would know these things.
yeah, and she kind of does as well. She knows who Stephen Strange is and all that sort of stuff. And Banner says like he'll return those stones, which will clip that timeline and stop that from happening. So nothing. So it'll just be the same timeline as it ever was.
They also let Doctor Strange off the hook for giving Thanos the time stone in the first place, with the
Yeah,
Ancient One being like, "Well, if he did it, he must have had a reason, and I trust him because he's the best man I know. Here you go."
yeah. She like kind of foresaw that, and it's like, okay, this must be the thing that Steve in his own movie she mentions like there'll be a big thing that will happen, that he is why he is the Sorcerer Supreme, like the only one who could be the Sorcerer Supreme, and this is
Yeah,
probably it. So I've got to give him the stone.
which I like and appreciate, and you're just fucking hoping you saw Doctor Strange, because if not, that bit would be really goddamn confusing.
Yeah. Tony, Steve, and the Hulk meanwhile head to Avengers Tower, where we get a cool like alternate angle of like that end scene where they're all
That is fun.
capture Loki, and we find out that the strike team from Winter Soldier is there, like Brock
Man,
Rumlow and all those guys.
that was cool, and in the back of my head I'm like, no, no, save Crossbones, take Crossbones with you, he needs to be alive again. Oh, well, it's nice to see you, Frank Grillo.
Yeah, they get it. They do a cool play on the elevator scene
Yes,
from
it looks like they're
Winter
gonna
Soldier.
replay that fight.
They look like they're gonna replay that, and then Cap does the whole "Hail Hydra" since he knows they're all Hydra.
That scene blew me away, because that got a great reaction in my theater, and I'm like, there's no fucking way you guys all read Secret Empire. Then I'm like, no, no, they didn't read Secret Empire,
Because if they
but
did,
they
they'd be
all
booing. They'd be booing if
yeah,
they did.
because they all know the meme, so they're cheering and they're happy because they recognize the meme, not because they recognize the story.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, I'm like, Russo brothers, did you read the story, or did you just really like the meme and you wanted to pay a homage to the meme here?
It's probably a bit of both.
It is really smart, though, on Steve's part to be like, all right, so this fight sucked the first time. How do I get out of this? Hail Hydra! Also, Agent Sitwell is there, too, so
yeah.
you get some Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. connection as well, which I appreciate.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then Steve ends up like encountering himself, the 2012 version of himself, who's in
Yeah.
he's in the like Avengers costume. But I swear, like I'll have to like I want to see a high quality photo of it. I think they redid the helmet on it because it looks so much better.
It does. And we get, in fighting game terms, we get a mirror match.
Yeah, we get a mirror match where the 2012 Steve thinks the one with the scepter, the future Steve is like Loki.
Yeah, he's got to be a fake.
And they set that up perfectly in the beginning when Loki is getting like transported, where he turns into Captain America. I'm like, that's cool, because he never did that in Avengers. He never pretended
he
to
didn't.
be anyone else. So now they know how that he can do it.
That is a nice touch. And how does Steve get out of that situation fighting himself? By dropping some knowledge he doesn't know yet. Bucky's alive. What?
Yeah, Bucky's alive, and then touching him with the stone, which erases his memory or something.
Which we know it does that. And man, what a great moment too of like build up to being like, okay, this plan is so meticulous, it's going off without a hitch. To, oh no, now they're fucking it up all over the place.
Yeah, it's starting to fall apart now. The universes are starting to try and pull them apart.
Yep, they're ruining it. You're ruining it.
But yeah, he beats himself and compliments his ass, and it's America's ass.
It's America's ass.
I love Ant-Man always like talking to like Captain America, because he's always saluting, or like he's just like, wow, I really like Captain America. He's really awesome.
He's a fanboy, is what he is.
Yeah.
He's a Captain America fanboy. It's lovely.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Tony and Ant-Man are going to get the Tesseract from past Tony and all those, who meet Robert Redford's character from Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Mr. Alexander Pierce, I'm done acting now. This is my last movie. Gonna do Sundance. Oh, a Marvel movie with a lot of money? Okay.
Yeah, so they end up getting the Tesseract, but then the 2012 Hulk fucks everything up because he had to take the stairs.
No stairs.
And in doing so, the Tesseract stays in that timeline, but Loki manages to escape to his Disney Plus show with it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. I never thought of that. Yeah, that's where he got. Oh, the Disney Plus show. It's in a different reality. We can do whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be a different. That's going to be really interesting because, like, as we know, like that Tesseract eventually went to Asgard and then would be picked up in Thor Ragnarok and all this stuff. So now we live in a time. There's a timeline there, probably where this Loki show will take place, where that didn't happen. So that's going to be quite interesting.
There's quite a few timeline snafus. I wonder. Hey, WandaVision, Vision never came back. Hey, Hawkeye show, you're Ronin now. You're not really Hawkeye anymore. And hey, Falcon and Winter Soldier, you're not Falcon anymore, are you?
We'll get to that.
I feel like there needs to be some name changes for some of these shows in a little bit.
Maybe they will be. Maybe they were just like, okay, we can't do that until after this film.
I would love that they have another press conference. Like, ooh, these names were actually a trick. Here's what they're actually going to be called.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they can't get the stone anymore because Loki escaped with it. They don't know where he went. He obviously went off world with it.
Yeah.
So Steve and they only have one Pym particle for return. That was the thing. They had enough Pym particles to get back in time and then get back to their time. They don't have it
couldn't
anymore.
Fuck it up because they had no do-overs.
Yeah, because Hank Pym got snapped, so they can't just make Pym particles. So
they then do what they should have done in the first place, and that is, well, let's hunt down Hank Pym at a time when he had more particles.
Well, they got a little cocky. They're like, we only need one trip for this. We've meticulously planned it all, and
we're good heroes. We got this.
They didn't suspect the Hulk, to burst out of a stairwell.
They thought it was going to go off without a hitch, but it's a good thing they did because that leads them to a situation where, we can both get the Tesseract, we can have a scene where Tony reconciles with his dead father, and also we can revisit a place from, from Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier and Captain America 1. They go back to 1970 where we get a cameo from Stan Lee, his final cameo, which is a really great cameo. I really loved it.
It's amazing. I like that those are probably going to be his last words on screen for a bit. You damn hippies.
Yeah. So they end up going to this base, and we get a cool young Hank Pym scene. We get to see the original Ant-Man helmet.
Man, I was the only one in the theater who marked out for that. I'm like, yeah, original Ant-Man helmet.
We get to see young Hank Pym again. The aging technology is just there. It works.
Amazing.
It looks great. It looks amazing.
Look, I am just convinced that Disney, with their billions of dollars, just found the actual fountain of youth and are just dunking their actors in it every so often.
Okay, we did a de-aging scene. Dunk them in the tank.
Get them in the tank again. but you can only get dunked in a little bit, and then you quickly age back. You got to keep dunking into the tank. It's like the Lazarus pit.
They got like the spray bottle and just give him a light spray. We only need him like 10 years younger.
Spritz a couple of years. Okay, should I spritz Samuel L. Jackson? Oh, Samuel doesn't even need it. Samuel just looks young all the time.
Yeah. Oh, Paul Rudd doesn't need it. Even though he's 50.
You're what? Really? Okay. I mean, it's just spritz.
Tony gets a really cool scene with his father. Gets
really unexpected.
Gets to sort of like reconcile with him, and
that's the theme of the movie: reconciliation.
Yeah, and tell him in like a roundabout way, so he doesn't reveal he's his son, that he did a good job, or will do a good job as a father. Steve as well gets a brief moment. She doesn't realize it, but he gets a brief moment with Peggy Carter.
Which is really nice that they're still remembering her and still bringing her back.
Yeah, through the window. I like the scene before that. Before he dives in the office, is very quick, very very quick. But in that hallway, you can see Arnim Zola walk by.
Oh yeah, because they keep mentioning him that Zola is working there, and obviously this is the place where Zola will become a crazy computer.
Yeah. He briefly walks by. So they got that actor back just for that one fucking scene.
Just to walk down a hall and not say anything.
Yeah. So he gets
which they do that with everybody. Like every minor worthwhile character shows up here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they spent their money well.
Boy, did they.
So and this this is like the scene that plants the seeds for him, that like he realizes he's missing something, and maybe he'll do something about that a little later on.
Yeah.
And while all this is happening, the other teams are obviously going to their timelines to find the other stones. That Rocket and Fat Thor go to Asgard.
Yes.
where Jane Foster's been taken because she's got the ether in her.
We got Natalie Portman back here, everyone. She didn't have much to do, but we got Jane
Yeah.
back for a minute.
Yeah, the woman who said she'd never do these films again, she came back. They waved that check in front of her face.
That fat Marvel cheddar. It's like, oh, what's that, Natalie? You don't want to do that? Well, what if we make it rain a little bit? What if we just make it rain a little bit up in here? Oh, make it rain. Oh, okay. You got me.
Yeah, she comes back and Thor has like a mental breakdown because he realizes he can't do any of this because he's a depressed sack of shit at this point.
And he can't he comes back on the day his mother is to be murdered by Malekith, and there's nothing he can do about that. And boy, do they have a very sweet scene where I think they do more with Freya than they ever did, where she's like, look, I was raised by witches. I like know about magic powers and time travel and shit, and I know you're from another time and you can't tell me anything, but let us two reconcile because so many Marvel characters are defined by the tragedy with their parents. So let me give you a pep talk. Let me help you work through your issues and get back to yourself.
Yeah. She has like a lot to do, and I'm so glad they actually did something with her. And
Same.
Yeah. She says like, Thor, you did fail and everything, but you're trying to make up for it, and that's what counts. Yeah. You're trying to atone for what's happened and everything, and it's really cool because like he wants to tell her about what's going to happen to her, but she's like, no, this isn't my future. Like, this is, you're trying to fix yours, not mine.
Yeah.
And that's a really cool scene. And we also find
that one made me tear jerk a little bit more than the Iron Man scene.
Oh, really?
To be honest, that was the one, because you know she's gonna die in a few seconds. Like, the only way they could have made the Iron Man one more tragic, where he's like, oh yeah, me and the wife are going on a drive later on in the country. No, don't do that.
Yeah, and in the scene we find out also that Thor is still worthy of Mjolnir.
Which I like that felt like that was probably going to be a sub thing where it's like, oh, is the reason he's so drunk and shitty because he feels like he's not worthy anymore? Can he not lift the hammer? No, he felt it. He just never said it. And then he proved that it's like, I am still worthy.
Yeah. So yeah, they end up getting the ether, and then
and another Mjolnir to go with them. So we now have Mjolnir and Stormbreaker.
Yeah. And then in 2014, obviously Rhodes and Nebula go to Morag, and we get a recreation of the opening of Guardians with Peter dancing through the crypts.
The caves. Well, one of the best jokes, and I knew they were going here with it, where it's like, oh, they're going to find Peter when he's rocking out to his tunes, and the joke is going to be that they can't hear the music and he just looks like an asshole. Yeah. Still funny, even though I knew that's where they were going with it.
Yeah, so they take the stone, and Rhodes and Nebula are quite a unique team up, because as we see, like when they get the stone, like Nebula like explains she wasn't always like a robot, and like it's kind of mirroring what War Machine is, where he needs the suit to like walk and everything. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm kind of the same. I was never like all this, but we work with what we got.
Yeah. Plus, Don Cheadle just gets to be a cool guy who doesn't love that.
Yeah, gets to knock out Star-Lord, and at the same time, this is like a scene that like obviously got a lot of reaction. It was Black Widow and Ronan go to Vormir to get the Soul Stone. And
we get Red Skull back. For a second, before I remembered how they split up the teams, I'm like, oh, is Captain America gonna get to see Red Skull again? Now he went to Earth. We can't have that.
I kind of wish he did get that.
But then it's like we wouldn't have gotten Hail Hydra in the mirror fight, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I kind of wish we did though, but they go there and they obviously realize, because everyone seems to have a problem with this. No one actually knew that someone needs to be sacrificed for the Soul Stone. They just know that Thanos went there with Gamora, and Gamora didn't return.
Yeah, they didn't know the exact rules of it, that you must trade a soul for a soul.
But they learned that from the Red Skull. And both Clint and Natasha want to sacrifice themselves. Clint because of all the evil shit he's been doing as Ronan and everything. He doesn't think he can atone for that. And of course, Natasha, because she's got red in her ledger. She feels like maybe if she does this will like wipe that clean, and she'll be able to do something of good.
As she puts it, she's like, I don't have anybody. You have a family to get back to.
Yeah, yeah. So they end up fighting off over all this stuff, and it
It's a
ends
cool
with
hero versus hero fight.
yeah, it ends with Black Widow fucking dying.
Yeah.
It-
Which I did not have money on her to die,
no.
if only because I knew they were developing a Black Widow movie. I'm like, oh, they can't kill her. She's getting another movie. Guess it's going to be a prequel.
Yeah, I have no idea what will happen. Might be in one of those timelines or something. But yeah, I thought like maybe Hawkeye would die because at that point he didn't have a family. He's been doing all this stuff that he regrets doing and everything, and he thinks that maybe this will like get rid of that, like mark it out of his book,
You
and
could still do a Hawkeye show, but just have it be about Kate Bishop and like maybe he shows up in flashbacks or stuff.
yeah, yeah, stuff like that. So yeah, killing her off was quite surprising. So,
Indeed.
so yeah, they get the Soul Stone. They end up all returning, and it's at this point the 2014 Thanos, which I've dubbed War Thanos.
Yes, because he doesn't take off the armor and he's got a big double-sided sword glaive he starts carrying
Yeah, yeah.
around.
Well, when we meet him, he's like fresh from a new planetary genocide, and he's wiping the
Hmm.
blade down. He's like, I got done killing, and
It's funny too. A lot of people brought up where it's like, hey, he never used that double-bladed thing in the comics. What's the deal with this in the movie? And then the more I looked, I'm like, wait a minute. He gave Gamora that double-sided knife. Oh my God, this is just a bigger version of the knife. Even his weapons, he's obsessed with balance. Holy
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. It all makes sense. Um, and what we find out is that because Nebula, the future Nebula, came to 2014, there's obviously another Nebula there, and they inhabit the same Wi-Fi signal.
They,
Uh,
they they synced up in the cloud
yeah,
together,
yeah.
and that was really bad. Oh, what's this? We paired two devices? What?
And because of that, 2014 Thanos obviously learns that someone is after the stones. He doesn't know who.
You'll
He eventually finds out they're Avengers because he knows who the Avengers are because of Loki and all that sort of stuff.
And this is late in the movie too. We
Yeah,
get this
yeah.
Thanos. Like up until now, there has been no singular villain, and I'm like, is there not going to be a villain for this one? Is this just going to be time shenanigans?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and he's like, okay, so these guys going for the stones, so like I'll just like accelerate my plan and use the information that's in this nebula, which he captures from Morag to find all the stones and uh, basically half the universe again,
Yeah,
like 9 years before it's meant to actually happen.
I like it changes his personality to figure this out. Where it's like, oh, I win, I get what I want. Ooh, but then they try and take it away from me and they kill me. No, 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 not today.
Yeah, yeah. He realized, as he says near the end of the film, he realizes that like his plan, while good at the time, is wrong because he thought like once he's half the universe, people would be grateful, and he's realized, oh, people aren't grateful. They want it back to the way it was. Well, in that case, I'll just like kill everything and start the universe over again.
Which hilariously gets him a little bit closer to his comic counterpart in the I am
It
in love with death, time to kill everything.
it turns him into the Mad Titan.
Yeah, the all right, time to kill it all now. Burn it down, start
Yeah.
over.
So he replaces his 2014 Nebula with the 2023 Nebula, and she,
which is such a great shtick.
yeah, yeah. All she had to do is replace that faceplate.
What a great bit of like Chekhov's gunning where it's like, oh hey, she's got a new face paint now because they repainted the ship and everything. Oh, that actually became important later.
Yeah. So she goes there and she brings Thanos to 2023. And at this time, the heroes have made their own gauntlet out of Iron Man armor.
Which
And
is interesting.
yeah, yeah, which is really, really interesting. I imagine like Tony was able to do it because he got like readings on the gauntlet or something.
Again, I'm sure they could have thrown away a line where it's like, oh, I've been studying the composition of this, that, and the other, and I think I've recreated the elements. But at that point, it's like, no, it's fine, it's cool, it's fucking Iron Man, I buy
Yeah,
it.
well, it's not just that. It's like it looks like they had like Iron Man, Rocket Raccoon, and Hulk working on it. So that's like three
Right.
pretty fucking smart people.
All working on it at the same time. And
Yeah,
again, they're not even sure if it'll work too. They know it's a bit of a
yeah,
gamble, and it even becomes a big question of like, okay, who's gonna wield it now? Well, who's strong enough? It almost killed Thanos when he used it.
yeah. Thor wants to do it. I guess because he sees that as like a heroic moment. Like I can bring everyone back because I failed and everything.
This is my good death.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to, he can't do it, so the Hulk ends up doing it because it's mostly gamma. Again, that's the line relating back to the first Avengers and how they found the Tesseract because of the gamma
Yep,
radiation it
I did like
emitted.
that.
Um,
That was, and also Hulk is strongest there is, so
yeah,
here's a cool feat for him.
yeah. So he puts it on and undoes the snap, but it like costs him his arm and like half his face. Uh,
Yeah, like burns them up real bad. I'm like, okay, I like that. Where it's like, well, what's stopping them from just using the stones every time they have a problem, like the frickin' Dragon
that.
Balls? Because it almost kills you every time. And like Hulk is strong, and no
Yeah,
one else would be able to do it, especially as we see later when a human tries to use it.
yeah. So they bring back everyone, and it's not apparent straight away. We get little hints that, like the sun's coming out, there's birds,
Mm.
Hawkeye's phone is going off and his wife's calling him, but that all fucking ends because fucking Thanos is obviously there in his big ship and he just obliterates the fucking Avengers compound.
That's crazy. It brings, not only does it bring Thanos back, but it also brings back the Black Order, those weird pirate
Well,
guys from Guardians of the Galaxy.
this
It brings back his entire force.
those guys are from 2014.
Yeah.
They came through the portal with because
No,
of
I
the
know. I'm just
nebula.
saying he brings all of them with him.
Yeah.
So I'm
Um,
like, oh, he actually has a bigger force than he did at the end of the last movie, actually, because they didn't get worn down by Guardians and Novas and Wakandans and everything.
yeah. He's prime. He's Eddie in his prime. He's War Thanos.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah. He he blows the whole facility up. Everyone gets trapped underneath it. There's a cool callback to a cover of Secret Wars.
Yes,
With
with
the
a Hulk
Hulk
holding it all up.
literally holding everything up as the other heroes try to escape.
It's not quite a mountain, but I see what you're doing there, and
Still
I
probably
appreciate
pretty
the
fucking
recreation.
heavy.
It's the entire thing that fell into the earth.
Yeah. He's holding
Also,
that
too,
up.
I guess that means the Avengers are going to need a new base now. I wonder, are they going to move them to a mansion? Where are they going to move them next?
Interesting.
Because we've had the tower, we've had the facility. I think it's time for Avengers Mansion next.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so they end up like they all get split up and everything. Hawkeye ends up with the gauntlet and kind of is protecting it from outriders, who are crawling through all the tunnels and stuff.
Very creepy. It turns into a horror movie for a minute.
Yeah. And the War Thanos goes to confront the heroes. He just like takes his helmet off, sits down, has a bit of a rest for a minute.
What's he doing? Nothing. He's just sitting there like he did for those first couple movies.
Yeah, jeez, what a power move.
What a power! You know what it is? It's that bit from Simpsons where it's like, and the little guy in the white suit hasn't done anything yet, and you know when he does, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, but I want to see him do something.
Oh, I missed it.
So
Thor powers up too at this point.
yeah,
Both of his things, and I love that his beard was all long and shitty, but when he like Power Ranger morphs, it gets all braided.
that's the thing with like Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. Whenever like someone like uses its power, like raises it, like and gets the armor, it also like does their hair and like cleans them up a little bit. So it's like oh, I'm all stinky and shit. I'll just like pick up Mjolnir. I'm clean. I'm all good now.
You get a Viking makeover.
Yeah,
Also, a thing we forgot to talk about because we were so enthralled with the Nebula thing. We also get Gamora in this too, but this is
yeah.
darker, eviler Gamora before even the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy when she was still just kind of mulling over leaving Thanos and she's still a bit of a bitch. And I like that because you never got to see that in Guardians, the
Yeah.
moment to moment thing that brought her to the idea of, I kind of hate my dad now and I want to leave. We kind of see that played out here all this time later.
Yeah, and it plays out in this end battle where she decides to actually help the future Nebula
Yeah,
against her
Nebula
sister.
turns her, where before it's the other way around with
Yeah,
Gamora turning her. And I'm
it's
like,
so
oh, that's
good.
fun.
It's so cool, so cool. Yeah, so like obviously like Iron Man, the Trinity of Marvel,
It really
Iron Man,
is.
Captain America, and Thor all go fight Thanos, and he
And it's still,
absolutely wrecks them.
even with two hammers, even with everything else, it's still just a slobber knocker of a match.
Yeah, he absolutely wrecks them all. He like I love that move he does where like Thor like hits Mjolnir with Stormbreaker at Thanos, and Thanos just like picks
Yeah.
up Iron Man to block it, and I'm like Jesus Christ.
Thor has been playing a lot of that new God of War game, so he's, mastered all the different cool throws and everything. And even him and Iron Man have like a video game combo move where it's like, shoot me with the lightning, and I'll like, concentrate it into a beam.
Yeah, we get the Thanos copter but it's not the Thanos copter
Yes.
everyone thinks. It's his blade that spins around.
Yep, that's the move. If this was a fighting game, that's what he'd call it. In the new Marvel versus Capcom, it's going to be called the Thanos copter.
um, yeah, and so he like beats all the heroes down and everything, and he's about to kill Thor with Stormbreaker, and then
In a
Captain.
in a in a reverse of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scene from Infinity War with the axe getting
yeah,
driven into his
yeah,
chest.
yeah, and it's at this point we get to see Captain America pick up Mjolnir.
Fuck yeah.
And it was so awesomely done as well because you like see the hammer float up and go, "Oh shit, what's happening? What's happening?" And then it hits him and then
Sheer.
comes back to him and everything. And Captain America fucking owns with that. He like knows how to use
Yeah.
it. he's been
Just
he's been watching
shears.
his teammate.
Oh yeah. Cheers in my theater. And again, as a comic fan, you knew this had to happen. They were like planting the seeds of this even in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
I bet Steve could probably lift this if he wanted because he's like the most pure
Well,
of heart
well,
dude ever.
that makes that scene even more because, like, as people have been saying, he probably could have lifted that in that scene, but like didn't
But he
because
didn't to
he's
spare his
humble.
feelings.
Yeah, to spare Thor's feelings and everything, and because Thor says in this, he's like, "Ah, I knew it. I knew you could do it."
I knew you could. Yeah, exactly. Man, a lot of stuff in this movie makes Age of Ultron, better in retrospect. I
Yeah,
know we
yeah.
talked about this in our commentary that it's unfairly maligned. They pay off so much stuff from that and this.
Well, it's, a lot of the Russo brothers does like Winter Soldier made Iron Man 2 retroactively better with the Senator stuff and
Yes.
all that sort of stuff, and same with Civil War and all that sort of stuff.
It's a very Russo move. And again, we get more great combo moves. I throw the shield, then the hammer bounces off the shield and
Yeah.
hits a guy.
Yeah, all this really cool stuff. He does like the lightning things. Lightning thing's kind of weird because like as we learned in Thor Ragnarok, like the lightning comes from Thor, not the hammer. So like is I guess because it's technically not a hammer, it's like an alien weapon, so it could be like still have lightning and stuff in it. But yeah, yeah.
Steve is electrical too. You just didn't know it.
Yeah, Steve is the god of thunder on Earth.
He actually is. You didn't know it. Which again, the comics go back and forth on that too. That if the hammer actually gives you lightning powers
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
or if it doesn't.
Yeah. Thor, Steve ends up fighting Thanos like one-on-one and almost ends up beating him, but Thanos then uses his blade to like cut the shield in half and everything. And people seem to have a problem with that, but remember, vibranium's the strongest metal on Earth.
Yeah, you have no idea what the hell that shit's made out of.
Yeah, it could be made out of anything. Vibranium from space vibranium.
Which we know is from space,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
So
It could be a pure variant of it or something.
Doc Vibranium, Doc Uru.
Yeah. So yeah, they captured America. He thinks like all things are lost. He tightens his shield on his hand, and that's a great shot as well because when he does that, you actually see his arm, and his arm is like cut open, and you can see the bone and everything, and that's why he like tightens the shield to like basically hold his hand together.
That's great too, and it's great for two reasons. The one you mentioned, and also the way he does it, he's so defeated. You don't know if he's touching it to like let it drop and surrender, and there's like a moment where it could go either way, but he's like, no, tighten it up, and then we get almost the return of I could do this all day.
Yeah. That line actually gets referenced in this when he's fighting himself, and he's like, yeah, I know.
all this time later, and it's still Steve, still standing up to bullies in an alley, only the alley is the world, and the bully is fucking Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos and his army, which is huge. It's got like some cool new creatures, those big like ape-looking things and tanks.
Yeah, why does the robot ape thing seem familiar? Is that from something? That has to be from something because it looks so familiar.
It did look really familiar. Like, I think it's like because I want to say the face looks something like the Cloverfield monster or something. Like it did look really familiar. I know what you mean. Like when I saw that, I'm like, oh, I've seen something like that before, but I haven't seen it. Like, wasn't in any of the other films.
Like, is this just special effects warehouses? Like everything is starting to look the same now?
Yeah.
Or is this actually from a comic and that's just like a really obscure reference? Actually, you know what it kind of looks like as I think about it now? The big guy from the Fatal Five.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that's...
It's totally right.
And I know that's DC, but I'm like, holy shit, that looks like the big guy from the Fatal Five.
You're totally right. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yep. Because I'm like, what? Like that was driving me crazy. I'm like, why did they build this brand new monster if it's not from something?
I imagine it probably is from something. Like, is it something in Hickman's run, like a big monster or something?
In the comments section down below, if you know what this thing is from, please tell us and you'll win a no prize. We're
um,
dying to know.
but yeah, Steve's fighting these creatures alone, but then like he hears in his earpiece, he hears Sam somehow still alive, because
On
obviously
your lap.
the snap got undone, and then Doctor Strange starts opening up all these portals, with like Black Panther and the Wakandan army, the
The
Asgardian army.
Asgardians.
Well, they're not at the Asgardian army. They're like Asgard, what was left of them that
Right,
retired to Norway.
you got the Valkyries and everything. You got the wizards from Doctor Strange. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, good. I'm glad they finally used them again. We don't see any of the Novas from the Nova Corps because assumedly Thanos killed all of them before the snap.
well, it's assumedly as well. Like there was no one out in space to bring them. Like Doctor Strange wouldn't know anything about them or anything.
That's also true.
Stuff like that. But yeah, they're probably all fucking dead.
Again, if he took the stone and they say that he
Hey,
fucked up Xandar,
they could have brought John C. Reilly in. He would have helped.
that's what I would have wanted. Hey, I'm here. I know karate.
But yeah, we get this awesome scene where there's like
It's amazing.
every single hero ever from every one of the films is there.
It's legitimately the fucking best. It's like that moment from Lord of the Rings where it's like the elves, they came to help us,
Yeah.
but that like turned up to a million.
Yeah, yeah, and we get Cap saying Avengers Assemble. She's been building for like 11 fucking years.
11 years, like over 20 movies, he finally says Avengers Assemble.
And it's totally
man,
earned. It's totally earned.
totally earned. And as I sit and watch this movie, I'm like, oh my god, it's the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy and all these other characters fighting Thanos and the Black Order and everything over Infinity Stones. I'm like, this is the most comic book event thing
Yep.
ever. And like people who don't read comics around me are getting to feel what I feel all the time. This is a beautiful moment of coming together. And then I feel that great moment of community. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, we're gonna have to wait another goddamn 11 years for DC to come even close to this.
Yeah, yeah. When I did it, I was like, "Oh, this is so fucking awesome!" And then I got like really sad. I'm like, "Oh, we're not gonna have like a moment where like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman rally all the DC heroes to fight like Darkseid or the Anti-Modder and everything." It's like, oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Give it another 11 years, maybe.
maybe.
Who knows? And what about the Dark Universe? What about when Dracula and the Mummy all came
it's
together?
Tom Cruise got to like rally them all and say Monsters Unite or something.
That's what we need. Man, there was a great fake article I saw online. It was like someone being like, and why wasn't Batman invited to this fight at the end? They had every other popular superhero. Why not Batman? It's like we're never going to see Batman in these Avenger movies or something after 11 years. And like the person was clearly taking the piss, but because it's the internet, people thought they were being serious.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that was great getting to see everyone come together. And then the rest of the movie is just these great battle scenes wherein everyone gets little moments to shine.
Oh, that battle was so cool. And it's really cool as well because it was like the last like 40 minutes of the film.
Yes, yeah, they don't fuck. It's hey, you know all those Lord of the Ring or you know all those Game of Thrones episode long fights you enjoy so much, like the Battle of Blackwater and the Battle of the Bastard. Yeah, this is that.
Yeah, but with superheroes, with people in like iron suits and stuff.
And even people in costumes you've never seen before, because it's like, hey, here's Pepper in a brand new rescue armor.
Yeah. Oh, that was so cool. That was so cool.
That was really great. You get Rocket and Groot meeting again on the battlefield, and that's really sweet. You get Winter Soldier and Rocket once again doing their great. Hey, we're the only two who fight with guns. Look at us.
It was just such a cool scene. And then while all this is happening, obviously they've got to keep the Infinity Gauntlet away from Thanos. So there's like this awesome scene where like each of the heroes is like passing it off to one another. Where like Clint passes it to Black Panther and Black Panther to Spider-Man and.
It's the most epic game of keep away ever. And again, they keep the banter up in these moments too. So Spider-Man's like, oh, Mr. Stark, I was feeling really bad on Titan. He basically becomes Morty from Rick and Morty. And then 5 years passed away, and then Doctor Strange was doing magic and said you needed us, so I came here now.
Yeah. I actually really like that scene because that's the second time Spider-Man has saved Iron Man from Cull Obsidian.
That is pretty fucking cool. I like that. And then Spider-Man meets Valkyrie. Hi there, I'm Spider-Man. I'd like to
Yeah.
introduce myself, but I can't.
My favorite part in that, and I said it on Twitter, was Ant-Man, this like world's best grandma, um, fucking
Yep.
haymakering a Leviathan as Giant Man. Like that's so fucking awesome.
Again, Scott Lang is probably the closest to like an everyman in this universe, and yeah,
Yeah.
that he's come so far, played such an integral part, and then yeah, friggin' one punches a space monster.
Yeah, it's like, gee, like it's Paul Rudd as well. Like Jesus Christ, that's awesome.
This ex-con now fighting alongside all these great heroes in his arc coming full circle. And also the van is important. Friggin' the
Yeah.
van ends up being a major player in this. We gotta save the van. Me and Evangeline Lilly gotta go save the van.
But yeah, they get all these like really cool moments with each other. And we get like one of my favorite moments was Wanda facing Thanos, like because this Thanos doesn't know who
Yes.
she is and
No.
what he's done to her, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and she very almost fucking does.
Yes.
People keep saying Captain Marvel's the strongest Avenger, but Jesus Christ, Scarlet Witch gives her a run for her money. She almost kills
I,
him.
Again, yes, for people who like to do power rankings and power scalings, for the record, as we clearly see here plain as day, Wanda would have killed him if Thanos didn't say fire on everyone, even fire on our own people. She was strong enough to end it right there.
Yeah, she would have fucking killed him, and yeah, it would have been just over.
Thanos only got out of it because he cheated, is the
Yep.
thing. In a fair fight, she would have like crushed him to death, which I'm like, ooh, someone who's powerful enough to do that would be powerful enough to do a reverse House of M and make mutants
Oh,
real.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, what people like discount Wanda, but like when she gets mad, she's fucking strong.
She's Gohan from early Dragon Ball. Don't
Yeah,
make her angry.
yeah.
Also, too, another scene we got to talk about, which I feel this is totally Disney Marvel planting seeds for like a, hey, do you like this? Because if you do, we'll make this happen. Look, we put all the super ladies together in a thing, and they got a cool moment. Would you like an A Force movie? Would you pay us money for an A Force movie? And my theater universally was like, yes, we would.
I
Can we have this at
Yeah,
some point?
I'd like to see it. I think that'd be pretty cool. That's in the fight after Captain Marvel arrives. Obviously sporting a new haircut and everything.
Proving that she is the Superman of this universe so far.
Yeah,
Did you need me?
she does her trademark punch the battleship of the evil villain. She
Yes.
does in her film.
It's canon. We've set it up now. She has the power to destroy an entire ship with a single punch, and also why we kept her off the table until right now.
Yeah, so she helps get the they need to get the Infinity Gauntlet to Scott's van where they can take it back through time and get the stones back to their original point. So then Thanos can't actually use the stones, and they just then need to beat his army.
Yes.
But yeah, Thanos ain't having any of that shit.
No, he is not. He has not come this close to fail now. And again, just some brutal, dirty shots on the hero all
Yeah.
over the place. Like he's not even trying to be cool anymore. He's just trying to win.
Yeah. Well, that's what he says. Like he says, like I know I don't take any of this slaughter or genocide I do personally, but
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do to Earth, I'm gonna take personally, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
I'm taking it personally. And again, the best cheat move is like, all right, fine, Power Stone punch.
Yeah. When he can't defeat Captain Marvel, I love that. I just love as well like how close he got to snapping his fingers as well. Like he was
Yeah.
almost there, and then she like ripped his fingers apart, and yeah, oh that was so awesome. But yeah, he ends up beating Captain Marvel and beating Tony and all the other Avengers, and then Doctor Strange, while he's holding up the water, like signals to Tony like this is the one,
This
like
is
kind of
look,
cheats, kind of gets around because he says earlier on in the film
if I
like
tell you.
if I tell you it won't happen, so he kind of like just I'm gonna look over this way, and what my hands do I won't see.
I'm not breaking the rules of the universe. I'm not breaking magic law.
um
If I don't see it, it's not a crime.
so Tony
Just gonna keep being Moses here and parting the water.
yeah. So Tony's last ditch effort is like attacking Thanos, and he gets the stones from him and puts him in his
Great
own,
reveal.
gauntlet. And he would be able to do that because his glove is made out of nanomites, like the his Infinity Gauntlet, so he'd be able to just like grab them.
It's a great reveal because Thanos does the limp one, and then you look and see there's none, and he's like, "Yep, I
Yeah,
grabbed them all."
yeah, and I love it. It's like a callback to like obviously the first line that like birthed the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am Iron Man, but it's also like Thanos saying like he's inevitable, and Tony just
I am inevitable.
being like the cocky motherfucker he is. He's like, oh
Yeah,
well, I am Iron Man.
yeah, I'm Iron Man. And then snaps him out of existence. Where it's like, yeah, how are they going to square the circle of killing Thanos and his armies while also kind of remaining heroes and not doing the we just chopped his head off like Thor? Oh, you snap him out of existence. All right.
Yeah, yeah. They snap only his army and him out of
Yeah.
existence, and this raises the question because it's left ambiguous, which I imagine Guardians will deal with, whether that includes Gamora. Because at this point, Gamora has become good again, but
Yeah.
she was part of him. Does that include him?
I think she's going to stick around, and that's going to be their thing, which ironically brings this Gamora a lot closer to the Gamora of the comics currently. I'm kind of friendly with the Guardians, but I'm also kind of on the outs of them because I never had the history with them.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, I imagine that would be the thing for down the line. That, oh, we got to get this Gamora back in the fold, or we need to go to her for some reason.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what that happens. But yeah, so Thanos gets snapped out of existence. I like that there wasn't like no moment. Like he just like kind of
No,
sits down and like he realizes he's defeated. He can't really do anything. So he
he
just
accepts it.
sits down and turns to dust.
He accepts his defeat. Yeah, which again shows why he's actually a very different type of villain for these types of
Yeah,
movies.
yeah,
Because yeah, every other villain would have been melodramatic. He'd been like, "No, my plans have been full. I'll get you next time, Avengers." It's like, fuck it.
yeah, yeah. So that's really cool. But obviously, like using the Infinity Gauntlet and snapping his fingers caused
Kills him.
irreparable damage to Tony Stark, and he ends up dying.
Which I like that they put a limiter on that, where it's like, no, 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 we just can't use these to solve all our problems now. It will kill you if you're
Yeah,
human.
like it almost killed Hulk, but he survived because he was Hulk. He could survive that energy. But if a human can't do it, like it took what 5 Guardians to use one stone, and that was only
Yeah,
because Peter was half Celestial. So
exactly. They wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise.
yeah, so yeah, he ends up dying again, surrounded by his friends and family and whatnot. And then yeah, the end of the film, the last 20 minutes or so, is just like kind of like a wrap up of like
Yeah, okay.
of his funeral, which was really really well done.
It was super nice and tasteful. And what did they send off there? They send off the thing from Iron Man 1, proof that Tony Stark has a heart.
Yeah, into the lake, to wash up on the shore somewhere in the lake, and be forgotten.
Hmm.
But yeah, in that scene we have like every hero in the funeral scene.
And a bunch of supporting characters too.
Yeah, yeah, and I also like as well they were like broken up into their franchises.
Yes, yeah. Okay, everyone go stand with your franchise so
um,
people know who you are.
yeah, so they got like everyone, even the kid from Iron Man 3 was there.
There were some confused people in my
Yeah,
theater being like, who is that kid? And even when I came home, I had to Google it. I'm like, oh, that's right. The kid from Iron Man 3. You don't recognize him because he was a little kid there. He's a friggin', teenager now.
yeah. That was really cool. We get obviously Nick Fury and all that. I did find it funny that like Hulk is there, and then in the background we've got General Ross, and I imagine he's like, "I'm gonna get
Uh,
you, Hulk."
yeah, yeah, he's just staring daggers in his back. Oh, I'm gonna get you. But no Liv Tyler, though.
No, no, no.
Bet he didn't really know him, and Thunderbolt Ross didn't want to bring his daughter to this event, so
Well, I,
it'd
I
be
I imagine
awkward
that like if they did include her, people would be going, "Who the fuck is that?"
because so many people didn't see the
Yeah,
Edward Norton Hulk movie, which they should have. That would have been funny if Edward Norton was in the back, and so was the original War Machine.
he's in there in like glasses behind a tree.
Yeah. Can I get final cut on this? No, Ed. Oh, I want final cut on the funeral though.
But we also get like a really, really touching scene between Tony Stark's daughter and John Favreau's Happy Hogan. Again,
I
it's like
really like
like
that.
like Happy saying goodbye to Tony, but as well as like it's like John as well saying goodbye to the character he brought in.
Exactly. It's like I lost a son too because I helped birth this franchise. It's a small moment, but I'm really glad they give it to him, and it's kind of the Russos paying homage to be like, if it wasn't for you, Favreau, there'd be none of this.
Yeah, yeah. Who else? Hawkeye and Wanda kind of get their moment to like, hey, I wish I could tell like Vision and Nat we succeeded, and but they probably know wherever they are.
They also have a moment of like, what are our shows gonna be like now? Because you didn't get Vision back, and like I got my family back, but I'm also like a killer now. So how
I
does this work?
I have a feeling the Vision, the Wonder Show is going to be. It's either going to be a prequel set between the times where they
Mm,
were able to, or it's going to be after this, and it's going to be Wanda like dealing with that grief like
right,
like Vision doesn't actually exist. It's like in her head, and she's
right,
like created like a like a vision of him basically.
right. Or we can rebuild him. We can make him
Yeah,
stronger,
they could.
faster.
They did mention in Infinity War they could possibly do that, so they've left that open. So it could go many different ways.
It'd be a good way to get a bunch of roboticists in there. Ooh, or what a really fucked up one would be. She's like, "Oh, I can manipulate reality, so maybe I can like wish him back, like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wished my children into
It'll be
existence."
something like that. Like, yeah, that's her way of dealing with the grief of him gone, or like this is how she gets over it, or something.
It'd be funny too, where it's like, Ultron built Vision, so if we bring Ultron back, maybe we can get Vision back.
Oh no.
Wouldn't wouldn't that be a funny place to take that show?
But yeah, yeah. So the movie sort of ends around here with Steve, like he's got the stones and Mjolnir, and they've got to take all of that back to their respective timelines, as Banner promised the Ancient One to clip those timelines that don't have the stones anymore. So they send Steve back in time, and he doesn't return. Like
Not right away.
as Banner says, he blew past his timestamp, so he went further back than what he was supposed to, and we don't know why. And they're all and Bucky and Sam are there, and they're trying to get him back, and then Bucky sees some guy sitting over on a bench,
Some old dude.
and then Sam goes and sees him, and it's cool in this scene because like the way Bucky was talking to him kind of made it seem like he knew Steve wouldn't be coming back. Like maybe they
I
had a
like that too.
conversation or something. Maybe that's something we could see in the show, like behind the scenes conversation where he's like, "Look, I'm going to
Yeah.
go back in time. I'm not going to be coming back the proper way." Um, and it's in this moment he decides like, "Oh, I'm going to forego being Captain America and give it to Sam." Which makes
Which
complete sense in the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like you don't really
yeah.
want like an assassin who's technically still
Yeah.
on the run,
Still a fugitive. Yeah.
being who's wanted by countless countries. Um, so yeah, Sam goes and sees this old man who turns out to be Steve. Um,
Yep.
Again, and this is old Steve, so it's like Chris Evans in makeup.
Which was
Look,
pretty good makeup,
it was
actually.
pretty good. Yeah, I think it might have actually been CGI. But
Because
yeah,
sometimes they can really fuck up old
yeah,
person makeup. But this was pretty good.
yeah. And that's the thing. Like this is old Steve, but this is like it's not. I don't know whether like the super soldier serum in the movies like slow the aging process,
Or if it
but
was the ice that did it. Yeah.
even still like this would be like almost 200-year-old Steve almost.
That's right. I never thought of that. Because, yeah,
Like
if you went back to World War II and, lived that life from there, yeah, this
yeah.
would be a very old Steve.
So he looks pretty good. Looks pretty
For
good.
200, yeah.
And again, it still leaves the door open because like Steve for a time there like was old man Steve,
He was, yeah.
as like a like Shield director guy.
Yeah. That could
Always
definitely
happen.
be a thing. I want to, help rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. and make it better this time with less Hydra Nazis.
Yeah, yeah, you could definitely see that, and we learned that like yeah, he went back in time, and it's ambiguous what happened, but yeah, he went back and he obviously married Peggy Carter,
Yes, and
and
got to live his full life and finally get the dance.
yeah, and he returned all the stones, and the hammer and everything, so he clipped all those branches.
What adventures did he have along the way?
Mm.
I don't know. That could make for a good series on Disney Plus or another movie if Evans wanted to come back and do it.
Yeah, you could call Captain America Man Out of Time. Um,
Again, like the great Mark Waid book, exactly. That's what you could call it.
yeah, and yeah, and Sam is like, oh, well, I'm kind of upset there's going to be no Captain America in this world, and that's when he gets given the shield and told to become Captain America. So we're gonna get Sam Wilson Captain America.
And I love that idea. And here's the thing. I think that will play better in movies than it did in comics because I don't think the movie people will get such cold feet and chicken out as quickly as the comic people did.
Yeah, well, as well as that, they can do some. They could even like change it up a little bit. Where it's like, are we gonna have like, is he still gonna look like Falcon but just be like Captain America covered, or is he just gonna become Captain America? 'Cause, like, we've got to obviously figure out he doesn't have the super soldier serum or anything. Like,
Right.
is he going to get something to help him? And I do as well. I really liked that costume once they gave him like Captain America colors and everything.
It was a really good costume. And, hey, what is it? Red Skull is free now, so he doesn't have to keep guarding the Soul Stone, which means wouldn't that be some shit if he came back and was Cap Sam's first villain?
That would be really cool, as well as like as we mentioned, like the adventures of Steve through time. Like he obviously had to return the soul stone. So like, would he have had a moment with Red Skull? And if he did, I would have liked it if they didn't fight, but actually like had like a mutual respect for each other, because obviously Red Skull isn't no Nazi criminal guy anymore. He's moved beyond that,
cosmic,
where he's like, I don't care about that stuff anymore. I'm cosmic gatekeeper now. And Steve's like, okay, cool, I guess I don't have to fight you.
I would love for them to do a callback to his line. There was like, I have seen the future. It is a world without flags, which he kind of did because he went to space because they don't got no flags in space. So there you go. I learned my lesson, but also no, seriously, send me back to Earth so I can do more evil shit. I am so chomping at the bit. That would be crazy too, to have like a more cosmic Red Skull come back to Earth and see what Earth is like in 2019.
Yeah, it would be cool because like his mind has been expanded and he's like, oh, I realized like Nazis and Hydra that was like small game, man. I need to be thinking bigger. I need to space Nazis.
Yes, I need to, Hydra will be a space group. We're going to build rockets and go to the moon and colonize that. Wolfenstein did it. I do not know what that is. Well, God, Red Skull has a list of things he needs to catch up on.
Yeah, it's just like all like Nazi-based stuff.
Okay, Charles Manson, yep, got that. Metzger, check, yep. Everything on YouTube, yep.
Yeah, it's something called Right Wing. Got that, man. Alex Jones.
Alex Jones, oh, he is crazy even by my standards, and I have a red face. Man, that needs to be a sketch. Red Skull's evil list of things to catch up on from the last couple years. Oh, that could get really fucking dark really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, so, I mean, a really beautiful kind of, closing chapter to this 11 years of Marvel movies. It's an end, but it's not really an end. We know it's not an end. They plant many seeds. That friggin' Valkyrie becomes the new All-Mother of Asgard, and Thor seemingly joins the Guardians of the Galaxy, which, holy shit, what's that going to mean for Guardians 3?
Yeah, the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
That's a comic.
Yeah, all this, like, really cool stuff that gets set up, and as you said, it's like an ending, but it's like an ending of, like, chapter 1, basically.
Yeah. Which, man, in 11 years of a chapter, holy shit.
Yeah. They took some time with it, which really paid off. It really paid off.
What a beautiful, again, just a beautiful love letter to the fans. To say that most of this movie is fan service would not be lying, but it's the best kind of fan service. Yeah. It's the rewarding kind. It's not the cynical kind. It's the good kind.
It's not the kind where, like, the movie stops to do it, where it's like, and now we're stopped here to, like, view this thing that you recognize from this old film.
Yeah. It's rewarding you for sticking around for as long as you have, and also promising that there will be more adventures down the line. In fact, hey, come back and see Spider-Man.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's going to be very interesting, because Peter just goes back to, like, school after all this happens. We see him with Ned and everything, so that's going to be really interesting. But like how they explain, like, the 5-year time thing, and like how people were snapped, and like what happens. And I said on Twitter that also like like is a great like starting point for like creating new villains for the Avengers,
Yes.
because like as I
What
said, like,
happened in that 5 years?
well, not only that, like in that 5 years, obviously people, as we see in this film, people have like moved on with their lives. They're like meeting like new people to have like lives with, and like new families and everything. So like, what happens when the snap was undone, and then their past family like comes back, and
What
like they
indeed?
can't really pick up where they left off because they've moved on and everything, and now they're blaming the Avengers for that because they're the ones who undid it. And like, well, yeah, people would be happy and everything. There'd probably be a bunch of people that were like resentful that that's happened now that they've
Oh yeah.
done that. And great, it's like a reverse Zemo basically.
Very much so. Also, hey, speaking of that, we've got the big villain that is Thanos. I wrote this on Twitter and I seem to get some good feedback from it. I think the future should be villainous teams, is what it should be. I think they should be working up to either Masters of Evil. Spider-Man's clearly working up to Sinister Six. And I think, the Thunderbolts would be great too, especially because we see Ross being like, well, there's no more Iron Man to defend us anymore. Time to take matters into my own hands. Also, too, we all got friggin' snapped out of existence, and who's gonna fight for that? Sure, the Avengers were here this time, but what about next time? Give me that Red Hulk juice.
That that would be really cool. I'd like it if like obviously Thanos is big bad. They went back down to like smaller villains where like
Yeah,
you get this thing where like the Avengers like they get too cocky where they're like, we beat Thanos. What the fuck's this Sinister Six gonna do? But then they like fight them
exactly.
and they get wiped out and they're like, holy fuck, these guys are no joke. Like we gotta
They're evil and they fight as a team.
yeah, we these guys are no joke. We've got to like really up our game to like fight these guys. I'd like love to see that like part where they like get a bit too cocky.
Yeah, and I mean, a year from now, too, when they can start using the Netflix stuff again, and when they start, assumedly peppering in the Fantastic Four and X-Men stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sky's the limit at that point.
Yeah, and you've got like Doctor Doom, Galactus, all these. I'd really love as well. Like obviously they had time travel stuff in this. You could
Yeah,
introduce like Kang,
Kang.
like he's found out like this timeline's been fucking with timelines and everything. It's like no, that's not on. That's not on. This is meant to happen. Thanos is inevitable. He's meant to be here. You can't
Right.
not have him. We've got to bring him back. And
I do like the idea of Kang as like this evil time cop where it's like, no, 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 I keep balance in the universe. Whenever a species masters time travel, I come and destroy them
mm-hmm.
because they become a danger to the entire space-time continuum,
Yeah,
or something like that. Like messing with time summons Kang for whatever reason.
yeah, or like yeah, plants those seeds that brings him in.
I would also like Mephisto because Mephisto is getting a huge push in the comics right now,
Yeah.
fucking with both the Champions and the Avengers team. I would really like Mephisto, especially. Here's my pitch for a movie. I call this Avengers Go to Hell: The Final Friday. What is it? Their friend Black Widow is dead. Black Widow killed people. When she dies, she's gonna go to hell. Imagine if they have to break into hell to try and save Black Widow from Mephisto.
Yeah, like they find out that like she's in hell, like purgatory or something. It's like
Yeah.
there's a window we can get her before she actually goes into hell proper, and we're unable to get her or something. So we can break into hell with like all these magical heroes and whatnot.
How good would that be? And also, Mephisto as a villain, that means you get to do the classic thing they do in every story. I will make you battle your worst fear. I will bring it to life. I will strike a deal with you. Who will strike a deal with Mephisto?
Yeah, you could do all this like really cool stuff.
Again, because you did like the science fiction bad guy. You did like the top science fiction bad guy. Do top magic bad guy now.
Yeah, magic or like horror or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change it up, and then in a couple years from now, you can do Galactus after that, and you can go back to science fiction if you
Yeah.
want.
Oh, there's so many. Everyone thinks like this is the end. You can't really do anything else. You can do so much. These are comic book movies. You can do
Oh
so
yeah.
much.
Because comic stories never end, as any reader can tell you. There's a sequential artwork that never stops. And what you enjoyed right now, everyone who doesn't read comics, that's what we call the end of an event. That happens like every summer. And they're like, oh, what a good jumping off point. Now, nope, come back next week.
Yeah.
'Cause
What's
we're gonna...
yeah? It's just gonna. This is the aftermath time. Like Far From Home is the issue directly following the final issue of this event. It's gonna have a lot to do.
And I'm happy that it's going to be Far From Home too, a
Yeah,
nice down to earth Spider-Man story to kind of be the palate cleanser from the big cosmic thing,
yeah, yeah.
and to see how it affects Peter. But yeah, I mean, we've literally taken Endgame apart scene by scene. This basically feels like a commentary before we even did a
I
commentary.
did. Oh, I can't wait to do a commentary on this film.
Man, bring the snacks. It's gonna be a while.
But worth it. So worth it. It's such a good film.
I'm proud of myself. I never had to do a piss break during the movie, but I
Neither
never
did I.
do.
Neither did I.
Again, I got an iron bladder, everybody. I take like 5 hour plane rides and never have to use the bathroom
Yep.
once.
Yep.
It's my one fucked up mutant power. If you need someone to wait in line for you for something or do one of those contests where you put the hand on the car and don't leave, I'm your man apparently. I was pushing people aside when the movie was over though. Get the hell out of my way. But yeah, that was Endgame, everyone, and what a wonderful ride we went on. I really have nothing bad to say about it. It was just a joy. It was a reward for sticking with this film franchise for so long. It's, proof positive that stuff like this can work when you take the time.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very much looking forward to it like getting released on Blu-ray just so I can watch it with commentary from I imagine they got because they did it for Infinity War, they'll do commentary with the directors and the writers.
That would be nice. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'd love as well since this is the last one, they get like all the actors as well.
Or as many as they can. I know
All the
when they
original
did
six actors.
that would be really great. What movie was it that they did where it's like they recorded everyone separately and they just cut out the best bits and put it in? I forget what big movie they did that for.
Oh, I don't know. I know they did like something similar to like Tropic Thunder, where they had Robert Downey Jr. play his character
Yes.
on the DVD commentary.
That would be amazing. That'd be a little too much to have everyone in character whilst they do it. Well, back in World War II, I haven't heard of these commentaries that you speak of, but I'll give it a try. uh, Alrighty then. So I think that just about does it for us, everyone. We could start bringing this show to a close. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you enjoyed the movie, and Matt and I will be back again next week for more comic multiverse goodness.
Yes. See you then.
Bye-bye, everybody.